I don't even think I knew what the words to the song Kids were, much less understood what they mean. But now that I've now that I've gotten deeper into this song, I'm impressed by how deep it goes, and I think you will be too. Let me explain. Hey fellow lyricorns, I'm Clifford Stumby, the pop song professor, and welcome to my channel where we explain, create, and sometimes roast song lyrics. Today we're talking about Kids by MGMT, and this song is important because it asks, the monsters of society, those people we generally all hate, were they ever once innocent children too? Or was there something about them that made it so we always knew they were just gonna grow up to be terrible? That's the basic question or idea of this song, which I think you'll agree is a pretty dang deep meaning for a song that was meant to mostly just make fun of pop music, as we'll talk about in a second. And it's really honestly less of a question because I think that MGMT has actually made up their minds. The conclusions they come to remind me of being a kid and a young adult and finally realizing that parents and bosses don't have it all figured out. I grew up thinking that basically parents were always right. And as soon as I started getting jobs, I always kind of went in with the assumption that my boss is gonna do the right thing, they're gonna be looking out for me, they're gonna be making all the right decisions, they know what to do, they know how to do my job and their job, like they're the person I can trust to like make sure nothing goes wrong. Turns out, I was wrong. Even the people that we think we can trust and who we think are perfect make mistakes. And sometimes they're bad people. And Kids is basically the mirror of that. So I learned that even people who I thought were perfect could make mistakes. And Kids is about how people who we all think are evil kind of started out in a good place. Innocent, happy, likable children. Babies even. Though I will admit to some suspicion about the goodness of babies. For the most part, what I see is that they just make messes and try to fling themselves from tall pieces of furniture. I'm honestly not really sure what to make of them. They look like tiny squishy potatoes. But I digress. The question of Kids by MGMT is, what caused these terrible people to get to the place that they are? What caused them to turn terrible? Quick little side note for you guys, Van Wingarden, one of the guys in MGMT, he wrote the lyrics, he says, the night before they were gonna perform the song for the first time. And he says, I remember that I was thinking about musicians as having this big voice, and what are they gonna do with it? I was thinking we'd get everybody to realize that we're all little kids at some point. People that are evil and doing hideous stuff right now, like George Bush or whoever, they were once little innocent beings. Something simple like that. I'm glad that people like it. It's a catchy song. This song was actually designed structurally, the way that the choruses are put together, the way that they're so catchy, and the way that they're repeated throughout the song, to kind of mock pop music. It was meant to be more satirical, and then, wow, everybody liked it. Classic case of the, man, I was trying to make fun of something, then everybody liked it and it backfired. Hey guys, this is Cliff from the future, butting in real quick. I recorded this video a few days ago, but I wanted to come back and tell you guys about Demi the Daredevil's new song. The song is called Boy Who Blocked the Sun. The lyrics are deep, the music video is really trippy, and it's like this really cool reference to dissociation. And I'm gonna play the absolute coolest part of the song right now.
In a minute, I'll sink down. In a minute, I'll feel the chills. Afraid to be alone now. But lonely is my only choice. Can you find the vocal?
Yeah guys, absolutely go check out this song. It's on Spotify. There's a music video here on YouTube. Check out Demi's channel. It is excellent. He does a great job. Deep lyrics, cool music. Music that sounds like Panic at the Disco and the 80s had a baby. I don't know if he thinks that that's reductive, but it's probably the single most accurate way to describe his sound. And with that, back to your regularly scheduled programming. So in verse 1 we hear, you were a child crawling on your knees toward it, making mama so proud, but your voice is too loud. We like to watch you laughing. You pick the insects off plants, no time to think of consequences. And so here we immediately have this vision of basically a baby crawling on its knees toward it, this unknown thing that the band does not make clear about. The mama, you're making mama so proud, but your voice is too loud. And I think this just kind of has to do with growing up as a normal child. Your voice is too loud, the baby cries, it's maybe a little annoying, mom's so proud. And it's like this realistic picture of what life's like. We like certain things about something, and we dislike others. And so it feels like he's just painting a picture. We like to watch you laughing. Who doesn't like watching a baby laugh? Or so I'm told. And the part about no time to think of consequences is, you know, this child is squishing these bugs perhaps, and not really bothered by what the consequences could be for the bugs or what the consequences of life are. It's a naive, innocent, happy little baby. And really honestly, to understand these lyrics, it helps to watch the music video, the one made by MGMT, not the original one by the student that actually went super viral. Because in that video, there's this 18-month-old child who is being like kind of chased after by monsters sort of, and his mom doesn't really notice that these monsters are everywhere, but the child notices that almost everybody else in society is actually a monster. Even the nice people. They're not quite as monstrous as apparently the really bad ones, but they're still monsters. And it's almost like this message that monsters, people who are monsters, are like a normal part of life. We all have a chance to grow up to be one. And honestly, the presence of monsters and monstrous things is just kind of an aspect of normal life. It's a very interesting music video, but also a little disturbing if you don't like scary things. In verse 2, we hear, "The water is warm, but it's sending me shivers. A baby is born crying out for attention. The memories fade like looking through a fogged mirror. Decisions are made and not bought, but I thought this wouldn't hurt a lot, I guess not." Now, we can't take every single line of the song too seriously because, like we said, he basically wrote it right before they were about to perform it. So maybe he didn't have the chance to perfect every little line, but the basic gist of what's happening in this verse is that the child is probably growing up. A baby is born crying out for attention. There's some of that loudness, but then the memories fade like looking through a fogged mirror. That memory of innocence, naivety, okay, you know what I mean. Decisions are made, but I thought this wouldn't hurt a lot. I guess not. It is gonna hurt a lot. Life, growing up, going from being a child to being an adult, choosing whether you're gonna go the monster path or otherwise. And then we bring it back to the chorus and we hear, "Control yourself, take only what you need from it. A family of trees wanted to be haunted." What a weird line, right? Good thing I'm here to explain it. Control yourself, take only what you need from it seems to be about just kind of approaching life with this humility and reverence, not living in excess or taking more than what is necessary for you to be alive and happy. And let's be honest, a lot of the sad and bad things in the world come from all of us trying too hard to get more of what we want instead of just what we need. And then the family of trees wanted to be haunted. I mean, that could be a lot of different things. A family of trees could be a forest, it could be a family tree, it could even be a house made out of wood. And honestly, I think it's gonna mean something a lot more significant perhaps in the mind of the author than it is gonna be in any way that I could explain it. But my best guess is that it's just kind of saying, you know, you grow up, you're part of the family tree, somebody's gonna be the ghost of this family tree. Are you gonna be that monster? That's my best guess. And that brings us back around to the basic idea of the song. We all start out as children, and we all have the potential to become monsters because those monsters started out the same way as everybody else. These children are capable of becoming terrible things, and this song leaves that question hanging in the air. How do they, and we, become those monsters? If you guys like Thinking Deep, I've got the best thing you could ever think of because it's my Patreon down in the description down below. Guys, check that out. You're gonna find a ton of cool perks, and best of all, honestly, better than any of the other perks that I've mentioned, you're gonna find a community of people who likes writing deep lyrics, who likes talking about deep lyrics, lots of 21 Pilots fans, several people who are fans of MGMT, and it's about even more than that. It's about being part of a movement of people who care about deep lyrics, both writing them and supporting them. That's what the Pop Song Professor's all about, and I'd love to have you on board for it too. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and be sure to check out Migraine Deconstructed, where you can see why Tyler Joseph is way smarter than any of you give him credit for. And then check out Born in the USA, the song that makes assumptive politicians look stupid. Bruce Springsteen really owned Ronald Reagan on that one, didn't he? Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll talk to you next time.